And one thing that we did and worked really hard on, and I love that you touched on it, was finding an area like what we talk about comfort, we talk about connection. He had that. He had that prerequisite with a number of kids, but was stuck. Mm-hmm. But what we needed to do was help build his overall confidence. And one way we did that was taking an area of interest and skill, basketball, and really went with it. So talk to our listeners about how you supported that interest.
Well, I mean, so he was already playing basketball, but, and I guess you could play basketball without having to talk, right? I mean, he did it for a couple of years when he was little, first, second grade, but he wasn't even doing like nonverbal signals, like, hey, pass to me. Like, you don't have to say, hey, pass the ball to me, but you could wave your hands. His anxiety wasn't even allowing him to do that. So, I mean, I think together one day, you and I in the office decided, like, okay, we did the board, like, let's do the basketball board and add them to the bench, or it was the visual.
So what you're saying, so our listeners understand, is that with the ritual sound approach, it's adding people one at a time. Eventually, you don't need to do that, but in the beginning, you do. And so he used the basketball court as a means to connect to adding people to his club. And let's talk about it. He called it his poop club.
Yes. Yep.
That's what he named it. That's what he named it. My poop club.
Well, that's what, when you give an 8-year-old boy an option, Yeah.
Yeah. His poop club. I always, it's about giving them the choice, but the empowerment to name his club, to be able to make him realize this is about what you're doing and it's your club. So what do you want to call that club? And some kids will call it my talking club. So when we talk about talking, we talk about talking when we're ready to talk about talking. We can talk about talking with Leo. It's not a problem. And there are kids you're talking about talking with because they are verbal. They're becoming verbal. It's working on initiation, elaboration, expression, self-advocacy, that sort of thing. And for Leo, his poop club was a way to be added in a very cognitive way. So SCAT is a very CBT-based program. It really helps them understand what they're doing, why they're doing it, when they're doing it, with who they're doing it, and it gives them control where they feel out of control. Wouldn't you say that control aspect is such a big part for him?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say. Is like just by allowing, when we were in your office and you said pick a name, pick a word, giving him the ownership, I think, and that control over it, that's huge for him. And, I mean, most kids need structure, right? We all need structure, but he really, with the visual of the board and us, making the board together and him calling the word, or, him choosing the word poop, it was he could have that ownership and that control, and I think that was important for him. And and that also shows like how much he really did want it too, right? Because that made him happy that he had that we had allowed him to kind of own that.
And how would he be and that's what he did at camp, right? So when he was at camp and we progressed him, he did the RSA and progressed and saw himself in a school environment making that progress. But had we met him and been like, okay, it's all about like, here you are, we're working on talking, we're going to get a lot of points if you answer or ask a question, we would have lost him in the process. He wasn't ready for that. Leo was not ready for that.
Right.
And
sorry.
Right? It wasn't about being brave. He's brave. No. He's just not ready to be brave talking.
Yeah. And not saying, again, not to poo-poo on the other methods and the ones that we had done for years, but the main focus was use your brave voice, and it just didn't work for him at that point.
And I want to be clear, we're not by any means saying anything about another treatment approach.
No.
But for him, whomever used that term at that moment, it wasn't the right term. Right. But, because he couldn't do it, and all we were doing was causing more avoidance, more anxiety, more self-confidence, doubt, and self-esteem issues. And so once we met him where he was and he saw what he could accomplish, he felt big, he felt good, he felt accomplished, he felt, ready to go. And basketball is a big shot role. I'm always about finding an area of interest that makes you feel good, that stands out. You can be a leader in it. You could help another in it. You can do well at it, whatever that skill may be. Right. It could be art, music, baking, chess. It doesn't matter. There's a million things. He chose basketball and he continues to choose basketball.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, you want something. He wanted it so badly. So he's going, like, we find that thing that he wants, he's going to find, or will help him find the way to get into that zone and to get better and to talk to more people, and so we would watch him over the year, 2 years progress, even in games, high-fiving. We were like, oh my gosh, of course we never made a big deal about it to him, but we were in the stands and we would watch him go through and high five someone after a free throw shot. That was a huge deal. He never did that. Again, like I was saying before, even just waving his hands to say, pass me the ball. He hasn't quite gotten to the point where he will yell, hey, pass the ball to me, to a kid that, he doesn't know that well, but we'll get there. It's like, again,
So he was brave. And when we talk about being brave, and I'm all about it, and being courageous and giving them opportunities to succeed, his brave was showing up, high-fiving, being part of that team. That's what was brave for him, not necessarily going up and asking a question or answering at that time.
Yeah. I mean, he got, I think, the confidence with everything he was doing at that time was just building and building. So then for the big, I feel like I kind of think of it like this past summer was the big event, right? This is where daily, just going down there, adding new kids to the club, going to order his own food. I mean, I never thought I'd see it, and now he does it. It's great.